All right, welcome to the barely there, barely there manga. God, I gotta remember that title. So here's my second recommendation. Again, you can buy this pretty much anywhere you can go to. There's a physical form. I like the physical form, but there is digital if you want to try it out. And today is Megalobride. But this is not your normal one. Wizard Blue. This is a manga that I recently been picking up, and I've been trying to keep up with it. Each volume releasing. This is from the same creator that made Megalobride. If you enjoy that universe and that storytelling, this is a very sweet and enjoyable one with a little bit weird twist. I admit it, but the story is still nice. The story is still charming, and the art style is actually quite interesting and a bit of a different design when it comes to the female protagonist. Now, let me give you a quick rundown of this one. This is about a boy that lives in Paris, and the boy was in prison and in jail, or pretty much a bona fide shun outcast of the people. Pretty much, if you weren't French and you weren't from Paris, you were shunned and outcast. And he apparently forgets a few things of his past. And one of the colors that he wants to be able to paint in is blue. Apparently, painting in blue is a bit of a theme in this story, picked up and saved or rescued essentially by the Paris's pretty much guardian, you might say. Now, this girl is a girl that a long time ago that was a bit of a curse, that she was born with dragon's spirit or dragon's blood in her body, and there's a legend, a disaster will one day come to Paris, and she is looking to find someone to help her in that disaster, and she thinks she can find in this young boy, but promise in order for her to have anybody as apprentice, she must marry them. That's the weird part, you know, you're not seeing the characters and discrepancy in height, but actually she is actually pretty much a young girl or young woman stuck in a pretty much immortal body. So really, she's still lost in a lot of her childish ways, but she is has been married off and on for many millennia, training people to take her place. Many of them have died, many of them passed away. She outlived them. It is usually how it goes. We're in a mortal body, and she's found this young boy, and they're having no sensual weird stuff happening, but there's definitely a bond between them growing. This is for teen our teen manga, so this is good for your younger people, younger folks out there. And it is a based on, you know, kind of like worldly, you know, sections of the world, America, France. It does have that aspect, but there's magic is involved. Magic is different for each person. They kind of like, you know, if you want to call it a Naruto effect, each person has a different type of magic, and each person has partitions and or what's the words for it? Each one of them are specialized in certain fields of magic, and a lot of it's verbal. And honestly, a lot of the magic words really don't make much sense. But she is one of the most powerful, and he has one of the more powerful spells out there. He's able to use art as his spell casting, and some bloods and some not bloods, some some paints out there can help him do different things, and blue is one of the more powerful ones, and emotions are done. This is a very really nice drawn. Really enjoyed this. Again, you can get this on Amazon, you can get this on some other places. I'll leave the link down below for anybody that wants to check it out. And of course, a subscription basis. If you want to get digital, please support the manga if you're interested by buying. Now let's go over to my rating. First, go off the art style. Art style is gorgeous. Now it does get little bland, and sometimes it gets really interesting. It's very artistic. The designs of it can relatively, I'm just trying to see if I can find some first in here, relatively interesting. It can be very action based, it can be very elaborate, it can go places with it. It has simple to very complicated art styles to it, so it has a juncture to it, but it definitely falls in line with the original Megalo's Bride art style. Very lovely. I would personally like to see this in an anime. Just my thought. I love the Megalobride series. I think this would be a good conclusion with it. So art style, I'll give it a good 9 out of 10. It could be a lot more detailed. It could be a lot more shading. It could be, I would say, it could be under the level of Bear-serk. That's a straight out of 10 art style for me. But some people might like the more simple art style, and that's a 10 out of 10 for them. So that's just my point of view. Now, story-wise, Great story. I wouldn't be recommending this at all if I didn't say great story. I would straight up give it a so far a 10 out of 10. So far as I got, 10 out of 10. I'm enjoying the complexity of it, the mystery behind it, the questioning. Now, morals maybe damned be to the side. Your morals can judge it whether or not you can look at something and not take it in a perverse or gross way. That's your point of view. But to me, it doesn't bother me. I think it's charming. It's willful. I love the fantasy aspect of it. I like the dread, but yet at the same time joyful side of the whole thing. And it's not going to the cheesy side of things of friendship and family like some other mangas and animes do out there. So I would give that straight out of 10 out of 10. Now, character growth. This is an interesting one. The most characters you really know are the main protagonist, the male, and the dragon woman that you will read in this manga. And those characters there's depth, but there's also a lot of mystery and questions behind both of their pasts that are not in private to you to later in the manga. So it's a growth, yes, but it's more of a growth of mystery than a growth of their present day. Now, the growth between the two of them is very charming, very sweet, very nice. It's not, like I said, it's not sexualized at all, but it's a very charming point of view. It could be a little bit more of that. It's more focused on the story than it is on the characters. And that's not anything to harm the overall enjoyment of the characters, but the story is definitely more focused on that and the characters living through that rather than the characters living themselves, being themselves. It's more like characters living through these trials and errors, and you slowly start learning of the characters and of their path. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Not my favorite in that regards. I'm not saying the manga should focus on just the characters and forget the storyline and be some side story for the rest of the mangas. That would not be the case. I like to stick to the story, but I still give it. Now, I still recommendation. Now, final score. Final score, I give it a 9 out of 10. Overall, also really enjoyable. There's no such thing as perfect, but that's what I feel of it. I still highly recommend it. Now, for anybody out there that was wondering, I think they're up so far to chapter of these books 5 or 6. I gotta go back and I think they're on 5. They're working on 6. The Japanese one is way ahead of this one, but the English dub is along the way. The English dub is not bad. Now let's read the back of it. Paint in Paris, France. Ao is a young orphan in Japanese descent who longs to become an artist. You know, it's a Japanese descent, but he has white hair. Yeah, well, white hair with black undertones, I guess. Let's see, according to the artistry of the front of here. Into the life comes Gladys, a mage who is as powerful and as inhuman as Thor. Don't know what that's about. She's seen Ao potential and takes him as her groom. Under her wing, he learns about the Wonder World and all the color in it. An all-new Ancient Mega Bride spin-off. Now, again, this is spin-off, different part of the world, different main, like, kind of guardian of the area. And yes, he is her groom. Like I said, she takes him to train him, but in order to train him, they must be her groom. And kind of under her protection while she teaches him magic and how to use painting as his magic catalyst. That's the word I was looking for earlier. So again, you're interested, try it out. You're interested in reading this, give it a look over, give it a view. And as always, have a good day, have a good night, have a good life. Much love, y'all. Bye.